Well, Liam, welcome to Milton Keynes Dons. Congratulations. What are your emotions, feelings at being appointed head coach of the football club?
Obviously, extremely delighted to be given the opportunity to, build on some really good work that was already done here before. So, really excited to meet the players, get on the grass, get working. I think that's the biggest thing. I think it's been a few days to try and get everything sorted with the travel and obviously the agreement with CFG. So now we're at that point where I can obviously meet the players this morning, get on the grass. That's what I'm here to do and what I'm looking forward to.
You mentioned CFG. I imagine it was a big decision to leave them and take this next step in your career. Why was MK Dons the right place for you to do that?
Yeah, extremely difficult. I think CFG were really good for me. They, gave me the opportunity in New York where I changed role whilst out there, and then obviously my first senior head coach role at Lommel in Belgium. So extremely grateful for the opportunity they gave me. But yeah, when I spoke with Liam, when I spoke with the chairman, and you see so many good things happening here. When I looked at the playing style last season, when I look at the profile of the squad, I think that was the most exciting thing for me. I think it was it's a really good opportunity to build on, like I said, some good work that was done last season. The style is aligned with myself and the staff, how we want to play, how we see the game. So tick so many boxes on that front, in order for us to be able to hopefully come in, have an impact and move things forward.
Not expecting you to go into details, but what have your early conversations been like with the chairman and Liam?
Yeah, really positive, really good. I have to say they were a big part as well. I feel they were very aligned in terms of how I see the game, my methodology, and how I believe things should look. So really supportive, really encouraging, really positive as well. So nothing but positive things, and obviously gratitude to them too.
You brought up style of play, so that leads me into my next question. The club's renowned for having a certain way of playing, which is done for a number of years, probably right since the start of the club's formation. Is that something in line with you? And what will a Liam Manning MK Dons team look like moving forward?
Yeah, no, for me it's about having the ball. So again, I know obviously you look at the stats from last season, I think it's possession-based football, but for me there always has to be a purpose to the possession. So we'll look to build, we'll look to control possession, but we'll also look to make good decisions in possession. So want to attack, want to score goals. I think really important. Fans paying money to come and watch football to be entertained. So I think we want to attack, we want to score goals, we want to have the football. But at the same point, you can't do that for the whole game. So you have to also be resilient out of possession. You have to be aggressive. You have to be comfortable. Sitting out periods to win games. So I think the biggest things in possession, out of possession control, I think the biggest things is players that can make good decisions and are adaptable. So the way we work, the way we'll coach the players, the sessions we'll deliver, we'll challenge them to make decisions. It will challenge them to get out of their comfort zones, to think about the game, understand why they make the decisions they do. But them top line principles are very aligned with what's been here historically.
The players that you'll be working with are a united group after the events of the last couple of weeks, but also a talented group. A lot of young, with plenty of potential, but already some experience and players that have started to prove at this level that they're good enough, and certainly good enough potentially to go and play at a high level one day as well. That must be quite exciting for you.
Yeah, no, really exciting. I think that was probably the biggest attraction, was the group of players that are here currently. I think when you go through the squad, you look at the age of them. I also think they've got room to improve and to progress. Given the age and the experience that some of them have. So I think it's a really exciting group. I think you see it last week. I think there's some really exciting moments that they can produce. And the thing that hit me when I watched the game back last week was actually after the first goal, the celebration, subs, starting lineup, everybody, and that for me smacked me in the face in terms of it. That team culture, that team ethic. So I think really excited to meet the guys and like I said, get working.
You're joined by Chris Hoge, who's coming in as your assistant. What's your relationship with him, and why did you feel it was important to get Chris here to the football club with you?
I think firstly, mine and Chris's values align. We go back a long way. Chris was a year above me at Ipswich in the youth team, so we go back a long way from that front. So we stayed in touch, and when I obviously started coaching quite young, Chris, when he stopped playing, started his coaching journey, and we sat down and spoke about it. And he joined Ipswich where I was at the time, and we kind of connected then. And like I say, the biggest thing in terms of we're aligned how we see the game, we're aligned in terms of, for me, it's really important to treat people correctly, and he's on the same page as me from that front. So I'm really delighted that he's accepted the opportunity to come and join me, and I think we're going to build a strong team.
We're going to go right back to the start, if you don't mind. Where did your passion for football come from, and how did your journey into football begin?
I think like most young kids, I think growing up, Dad played football. football at school, football on TV. I think, grew up in Norwich. I think, I remember one of the first games I went to, Norwich Man United, Eric Cantona. So I think, growing up, watching it on TV, playing it, and then, had some interesting, challenges in life that ultimately, channeled me into actually kicking on and signing for Ipswich at the age of 13. So, that was kind of the early memories of where it started.
And you mentioned earlier in the interview that you got into coaching quite young. Have you benefited from that? I obviously imagine you probably wanted the player career to go on a little bit longer than it did, but certainly there must be some benefits from getting into coaching quite early on and having that experience already. Yeah,
no, definitely. And again, I feel really fortunate coming through Ipswich. I think at the time Ipswich sort of mid late 90s, early 2000s were a club that had were producing some real high level players. So again, I feel really fortunate. I feel I had a really good education there, from a playing perspective. But then obviously, giving me the opportunity to go back and coach, and it wasn't easy. I think coming to the realization that you're not going to have a top playing career, or maybe the playing career that you want. To be totally honest, I didn't have any aspirations to go into coaching. It was something I kind of fell into. It was 21. Ipswich said, "Do you want to do some part-time coaching?" And I played semi-pro alongside it, and kind of went from there really, and it snowballed quite quickly. So 15 years now of coaching, and it's been a terrific journey with some really interesting experiences.
Along the way in your coaching journey, you spent time at West Ham, which working with some fantastic players that have obviously gone on to make a real impact at the Premier League and on an international level as well. How fantastic was that experience, and being around a club that started to really kick on in recent years in terms of their Premier League aspirations?
Really good time again. And again, I look back at my journey even at Ipswich and then on to West Ham. I have some real key people I think that have called them mentors, or some really key people I think that have really helped shape my kind of ways of working and my ways of treating people. So West Ham was again similar to that, great learning experience. I think it was a big step up in terms of level of players. I went from under 16s at Ipswich to under 23s and elements of the Europa League squad in my first week of pre-season. So that was quite a jump up. But again, I think if I look back at my time there, the level of player and the size of the club, is a huge club, huge fan base, really passionate people, and ultimately because of that, the recruitment then follows that. So the level of player, like I keep saying, is something that was really good for me, really challenged me, but learned a lot.
And we started the interview talking about the City Group, so we'll go into your experiences there. Obviously, an opportunity for you to go and work abroad in New York first, and then obviously take a head coaching role with Lommel. How was your first experience coaching a first team, a men's team, and being a head coach for the first time at Lommel?
Yeah, really challenging. I mean, obviously, the club were going bankrupt when CFG bought them, so I had no idea what I was walking into. I'd never heard of Lommel, to be totally honest, prior to going there. So I walked into it completely blind, having never met my staff, didn't know anything about it. So again, when I talk about learning experiences, we had, in the space of 2 months, we had 21 new players, 16 nationalities, brand new staff that I'd never met, didn't have any equipment. Pitches were not great, to be totally honest. So I think that again just reinforced me what's important. Actually, it's about people, it's about culture. So again, I think worked really hard there to basically create a culture where players feel brave enough to go and express themselves, make good decisions, play the game that we wanted to. So again, terrific learning experience, one that really grateful for in terms of the experience abroad and working with different cultures, different nationalities.
Away from football then, I'm sure 99% of your time is dedicated to being a head coach, and it's an intense role. But away from football, when you do get an opportunity, what do you like to do with family? What do you do to kind of distract yourself, probably in them couple of weeks you get in the off-season?
So I'm really lucky. I have a hugely supportive wife. I have a 3-year-old boy as well. We also have a dog, so for me it's getting out, going for walks, going for dinners. Nothing crazy, nothing too hectic. Like you say, to be honest, my downtime goes straight to the family. So much energy, so much time goes into obviously delivering the best program and trying to get results. So my downtime is just family time ultimately.
Let's get back to football then. Looking ahead to Saturday, Sunderland here, first home game of the season, and obviously your first experience here at MK London Stadium. MK, how much are you looking forward to that? I bet you can't wait to get going.
No, again, I think the big thing is having fans back is terrific. Like, really looking forward to having fans in the stadium, meeting the fans. I think that really hit, I think, everybody in the game last year in terms of who's the game for. When we're playing games in front of empty empty stadiums, it's not the same. You don't get the same passion, the same drive, the same energy. So I'm delighted that first and foremost, delighted to come out and meet the fans, and hopefully they get behind us for the game. And onto the game, obviously, Sunderland, big ambitions, big club, but the group we have here, I believe in them. I think we've got some really talented players, and I think the biggest thing, if we can get aligned, if we can work as a team, play as a team, and allow players to bring their qualities within that framework, then I think we can challenge anybody.
You alluded to that. I mean, there's Sunderland, the likes of Charlton, Ipswich, all coming up. It's a competitive League One, and League One tends to do this every 3 or 4 years. It tends to just suddenly get in an influx of Championship and Premier League clubs, and while on paper it looks tough, it's also quite exciting, isn't it, to come up against these sorts of teams?
No, definitely. They're the games you want to play, and they're the games you want to coach in. I think growing up, and I'm sure it's the same for any player, you want to play against the best. When we talk around that, the big clubs, the big budgets, what they're able to provide. I think for us it's about going right. Let's challenge against them. Let's make sure that we can compete, and you want to show your qualities in games like that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next 10 days and seeing what it brings.
We'll end on the fans then. We've mentioned them a few times in here, but it's a big part of MK Dons is that community spirit and having that togetherness between the fans and the players. Is that important to you? And what I suppose, what would be your message to the MK Dons fans as you begin your time here as head coach?
Yeah, no, look, I really hope they get on board, get behind us, support us. We want to, we'll work our hardest, to make sure that we deliver, something they can be proud of and that they can get behind. And again, I think, it sounds quite strange, but we're just normal guys, to be totally honest. Like I said, I didn't make it as a player. So I also look at it and go, hopefully, even if it can inspire, 1 or 2 people, that, if you put the hours in, you work hard, you study, you do everything you can, who's to say, the next MK Dons head coach in 10, 15 years isn't in the local area?